Gwalior is an old city in Madhya Pradesh with a lot of history dating back to the 8th century AD. We started our journey from the Gwalior Fort. It's on top of a hill and a very important landmark for the city. If you are driving, you will enter the fort through the Urvai gate. It's a steep climb up to the fort entrance. Inside the fort, the first thing you will see on the left is Assi Khamba ki Bawadis, a stepwell with 80 pillars. As we walked further, there was a big open area where they usually have a light and sound show. But it wasn't on when we visited. The view of the fort from here is amazing. There is a small archaeological museum with artifacts from Gwalior and nearby areas. The beautiful part of the fort is Mandir Palace, built by Maharaja Man Singh in the 15th century. It's colorful and has 2 floors above the ground and 2 below. There are open courtyards with elaborately decorated ceilings. A series of narrow stairs lead down to underground, which has 2 rooms, one below the other. These rooms have a darker history. Mughal emperors used them to imprison, torture, and execute prisoners. Nearby is Chaturbhuj temple, carved into a rock with intricate designs. It's famous for having the earliest known inscription of 0. Karn Mahal and Vikram Mahal are palaces with simple architecture and are situated opposite to each other. Jahangir Mahal is named after the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, but the construction was started by Sher Shah Suri. It's an example of the Mughal style architecture in the Gwalior Fort. At the northern end of the fort is Johar Kund, a water tank used for supplying water to Karn, Vikram and Jahangir Mahal. A terrible tragedy took place during the 13th century when the first Johar was performed after the king lost the battle to Sultan Iltutmish. From the Gwalior Fort, we can see the Gujari Mahal. This palace is now converted into a museum. Until now, we saw one side of the fort. The other side has some beautiful temples. Teli ka Mandir is one of them. Teli means oil, and this temple was funded by oil dealers. It was built during the rule of Mihira Bhoja from the Pratihara dynasty in the 9th century. An interesting aspect of this temple is the wagon vaulted roof, a typical South Indian architecture not seen in the northern part of India. Saas Bahu are the two temples, which means that they are dedicated to mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. But it is said that the original name of the temple was Sahasra Bahu, means 1,000 arms. These architecturally beautiful temples were constructed by the Kachapagata ruler Mahipala during the 11th century. I am not sure whether I am pronouncing the name of the dynasty properly. While the Gwalior Fort is the most significant site in the town, there are also other attractions. Located in the middle of the busy and crowded area is the tomb of Tansen, a musician who was one of the Navaratnas in Akbar's court. His tomb is located next to Muhammad Ghaus, a Sufi saint and a musician. Moti Mahal, situated inside the city, is another interesting monument. The palace was constructed in the 19th century and now is converted into a government office, but tourists are allowed to visit by paying a fee. Next to the Moti Mahal is a small pond called Baija Tal. It's a favorite place for the locals in the evening. The nearby Italian gardens and Jal Vihar are also nice to visit in the evening. On the outskirts of the city is the Sun Temple. It's a newly constructed temple in a serene location, but unfortunately, mobile and cameras are not allowed inside. Another important building is Vilas Palace, constructed by Scindias in the 19th century. Part of the palace is now converted into a museum. It's a grand palace with a mix of Indian and European architecture. You get a feel of the opulence of the life of the Scindia dynasty. This was about the places that we visited in Gwalior. There are many other places nearby. I will try to cover them in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this video. See you later.